Hello, and welcome back to the ministry. And today we're talking about happily ever after. So, I remember when I was a kid, there was a song by Maze called Happily Ever After. And funny enough, Megan Michelle did a word on this back in May, and she was talking about your happily ever after. But what is your happily ever after? What's the definition of happily ever after? What does it mean? What does it look like for you? Is that your career? Is that what it is that you want in your home? Is that your husband, your agape love that you are receiving from that dream spouse in which you desire to have? Is that the children, however many that God gives you? Is that all the parts of life that are whole, deep down, soul level that you want to love again? Because some of us, those of us that have been holding on for these kingdom marriages, have been holding on to them because of the fact that we're holding on to the desire for that agape love that we've never received from anybody else. To us, it's a dream to have someone love us unconditionally, to be there for us, to care for us, to be that type of person, the love without fear, the love with a level of security that you know that you can rest in this person, that no matter what, good, bad, or ugly, that the person is there for you. And it may even be, sometimes they may not be able to physically be in your presence, but they're always there when you need them. I say this for those of you that are called to people that are in the corporate world or the business world or the celebrity world or whoever it is that you're called to, that they're constantly moving, traveling, going places. And because of that, they may not always be in the house with you, but they make an adjustment for the balance of that. So because of that, to be the mother, to have children, to have children that you've made with an agape love that came from you and your partner, and to know that God gave that person to you to have children with. Just wanting to feel loved again after a long time of not knowing or not having love. Whether the agape love had come from a parent that is long past or from somebody, and you're looking for that level of replacement, and God's been saying, I need you to feel that with me first, and I will give you and add on to you the people that will love you that way. But I need you to understand what that love is, so one, you won't tarnish it, one, you won't mishandle it, that you won't feel lost with or without it, that you understand that the love exists. But you have to know that there is love, and you got to know that you can feel that love. In the last part of The Perfect Match, that's what that character had to determine, that he knew how to love. The experience that he walked through helped him figure out that he knew how to love all along, and there was love, and he was capable of loving somebody to that degree. And because of that, that there will be an adjustment, and that you will be able to move forward, that you will have a gumption and an energy to run, because the person that you're in love with and are in relationship with, that they give you that spark, that passion, that inspiration, that muse to run forward. Having the ability to reach your goals and your desires. And not only do they support your goals, they're like, hey, babe, how can I help you get there? support. Um, because you have someone that is always in your corner, and that you know that they got you no matter what, whether it's with the children, whether it's in your career, whether whatever it is, they're like, okay, I got you. I got you. And even that, the fact that they would be willing to sacrifice time, work, or close down what they were working on temporarily to make sure that you was good. You understand what I'm saying? Because people do that. Partners do that. They will make the sacrifice that they may have had something that they were doing, that but they see that this thing needs to come to pass now. They're like, okay, I'm going to put down what I was working on, and I'm going to put a hold on that, and I'm going to go work on what you're working on to make sure that you get that to where it needs to be. Then I'm going to pick my stuff back up. A partnership. That person that wants to be in your whole life happy, that they work hard. When it's time to work hard or go on vacation, they work hard, they play hard. But you feel more happy. You understand that there's a joy within your entire life spectrum. You feel it all the time. Not all the time, but I think that there's a level of fear that's been created in children of God that, oh, you getting married, that there's going to be war, and it's going to be warfare, and it's going to be this, and it's going to be that, and because of the warfare, it's not going to have peace, and you're going to be, the ring is a ring, and you're jumping into a ring, and you're going to be fighting all of this time. And then there are other people that are saying, no, God wants to give you perfect peace and agape love in your marriage, and it's like, which one is it? Because I don't want to jump into something and be in war zone all the time. I want to jump into something and feel like I'm at rest and at peace with the person. Yes, there may be things going on outside of our relationship, but the peace and the joy and the happiness that's going on between us, I can manage, and we can manage together the balance that's necessary, because there is love, and the love gives you that happily ever after that you were seeking and looking for. That's what happily ever after looks like. At least that's what it looks like to me. What does it look like to you? Because there's a level of fear that has been placed around marriage, that, especially in the Christian community, that always puts this bumper against marriage, like, oh, well, you're not gonna want that, and yeah, and but it's a heavy responsibility to be married, and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, it's fear mongering to make you feel like marriage is a nightmare. And if it's not a nightmare between you and this person, it's going to be a nightmare with people coming against you and this person and all this kind of stuff. And it's painful, and it's this, and it's like, who wants that? Anybody that can honestly say they want that, it's like, who wants that? And God said, no. I never said that that's what that's going to be. Yes, you're gonna have your moments, and yes, you don't forget the war, the warfare and the things that you learned in the process in your time in the wilderness. But hey, understand, I'm not here to give you more stress, strife, and trauma. I'm here to help heal you. You're gonna have things that are gonna pop up, but I always pray. It's one of my decrees, and look at the decrees. Look up the video I did on decrees. I think it's part 1, where I do decrees, or it's either decree 1, decree 2, or it is the very end of the Kingdom Marriage series on Kingdom Marriage, part 6, where I talk about the decree of the Psalm. It's not Psalms. I keep saying Psalms. It's Isaiah 37:26. The covenant of peace that God gives your marriage, that you're supposed to have a marriage that is of peace, a marriage that is There are no arguments. Some of these people, I don't know who they are that are creating these videos that are saying, oh my God, that this is going to be a war and you're going to be in a fight forever. I don't think half of us wanted, when we initially started praying for kingdom marriage, that we were seeking a marriage for a fight. We were seeking a marriage for the happily ever after, the balance, that we fought enough. We want somebody that we don't have to fight with. That it's us against the world, not me and you against each other. And God may be in the midst. No. That we operate together in a communicative level that is peaceful, that brings about a level of peace, because we've got our boundaries and our walls secure, that we ain't letting confusion into our lives. I've had a lot of confusion in my life, and even myself, when it comes down to thinking about coming into a relationship, I have certain concerns about families, blending families. I've dealt seriously with witchcraft and word curses coming against me. I'm like, look, if I can do without anybody being a part of my life aside from me and my God-ordained spouse's family, I'll be right. I don't need all that, because what the enemy does is he works through wounds, and if you're trying to heal wounds, he comes back to try to create more. I was literally having a one-on-one moment with the Lord yesterday, talking about, I want to rest if you're desiring me in this season to rest. But how do you rest if you're dealing with a person or a situation that is literally a ticking time bomb that is activated every time you go into a state of rest? You go into rest, the time bomb goes off. And you're like, wait, what? So you immediately jump into something else, because you're like, look, I got to get out of this cycle of this time bomb, because I'm not dealing with this time bomb. You understand what I'm saying? We want marriages that bring about peace. That doesn't mean that when we coming into these marriages, coming into these relationships, that we're not going to deal with our other person's triggers, and that they're not going to trigger us on occasion. But that's where communication comes in. Sitting down and talking about these things, because when you talk, it's the lack of communication that brings about confusion. But when you sit down and talk, if you have an alt with your brother, you do what? You talk about it. If you have certain issues, you deal with it amongst one another. It's these elements that bring about a balance within your love that will create a level of harmony, that when you need to take care of your home or your household or your kids or whatever it is, that you feel secure within one another, that you know that, okay, that person's going to take care of that. Or maybe finding out what the other person's weaknesses are in comparison to your strengths, and being able to balance. You remember that old nursery rhyme? Johnny could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, but in between the both of them, they lick the platter clean. There are things that your husband has, and there are things that you have that complement one another. You may not be able to do everything. They may not be able to do everything, but what you can do complements what they can't, and what they can't do complements what you can. I think I said that right. So you balance each other. But the most important thing is communication, in order to create that level of agape love. And a good thing that it may be for a lot of you to do is to read the 7 love languages. Matter of fact, because I keep saying it, I need to go back. There's 2 different versions of the 7 love languages. There's one, the 7 love languages with God. Is it 7? No, 5. 5 love languages, which talks about the love languages with the Lord and the love languages with your partner. And I think that that would help you, one, when your partner comes into your life, all those of you that are waiting on your God ordained kingdom marriage, that it will give you a level of understanding and balance to be able to see, hear, and to be more attentive to your spouse because you understand how they love. So it's a level of balance. In order for you to be able to feel that agape love and be able to feel that happily ever after love, it's not always going to feel great, but the most harmony and peace that you can bring into your home and your household, that's what you want. You're going to have your moments. You're going to have your little tiffs. You're going to have, if the best thing that y'all have is little spats about dumb stuff and not allowing the little spats to turn into big issues, because you got little foxes, they going to come up. And yeah, they're going to be things, but you learn each other. And once you learn each other, you can see, oh, wait, something's going on in their life. Wait, pause. Let me help them. Wait, pause. They realize, oh, your trigger has been activated. Let me back up and let me make you feel secure in this moment. Wait, pause. Something's going on in your family, and I need to be the support system that you need in this moment. Something's going on in my family. They need to be the support system that I need in this moment. See how that works? So there's a balance that will be created. But as long as you do the work, checking in with self, making sure you're okay, doing the internal work, then once the partner comes into your life, that you both are making the choices to do the internal work. And if you decide at that point, maybe we do need to go to a therapist, maybe we do need to go for marriage counseling, maybe you see what you can do with yourselves, then you see these are things that we are seeing reoccurring that we seemingly can't get past. Let's introduce a marriage therapist. Let's introduce some type of faith-based counselor. But if these are issues that we see that we are struggling breaking through the barrier for each other. But if you can manage to find your balance, you'll be okay. Why do I keep bringing these kinds of things up? Have you noticed the pattern? If you've been following the videos, there's a pattern to the last 15 to 20 videos. We saw the husband heal. We walked into, we went from husband healing to walking into understanding certain things about ourselves, then walking into marriage, then walking through sex, and now just dealing with the things that come with love afterwards. And yes, I'm going to do why did I get married? But there's a couple things that my mind's been thinking about, and because my mind's been thinking about it, I haven't done it yet because I'm, like I said, I want to do each relationship. I think I want to dissect the relationships for who they are, and I also want to look at the attachment styles. And I want to literally do a review on each personality and how it worked, didn't work in that film. So I'm going to do that a little bit different than just reviewing the film. It's about reviewing the marriages, what you should and shouldn't do within your marriages. Because we saw the good and the bad and the ugly of these relationships. I don't know if I've heard that they potentially going to do a third one. We'll see when we see. But I would love to see what they're going to do, because the way that they left us off in Why Did I Get Married 2, The Rock was introduced like, hold up. We got to come back to that. You can't just introduce that character and leave us hanging. It's like... So we'll see what the Lord does. But I would love to see what happens with that next film. That they really go ahead with it. But Lord, make a way. But yeah, I want to dissect that, because we're in marriage season and our marriages are coming. And just like I said, I don't know whether I said it in the previous video or not, we're kind of in that phase where right now we're just taking care of the crumbs and the residue. And we're learning how that we're going to be able to maintain and manage our relationships once we walk into them in a biblical, balanced way, so that we can be an example for the people. So yeah. It's that element of understanding these segments and knowing these are the things that you need to balance and take care of. And once you know that, it will make your marriage easier, and you'll be able to balance out your life and your marriages, so that you know that there are key points that you're going to just have to keep revisiting. Communication, making sure that y'all in the right headspace. Because if you keep these things in harmony, you and your spouse will be okay. Yes, I know sometimes it will be frustrating, because you're going to have kids, and your kids going to be screaming, and your kids going to have their moments, and you're going to be frustrated and exhausted and tired. But God will give you the grace, and you as parents will find a rhythm to deal with your kids. God gave you those kids. You're going to know how to deal with them, because they are parts of you. You're going to understand the elements of them, and you may even learn some things about yourself after you have these kids, because of the fact that you're going to see yourself in these kids. The element of you that may not have been nurtured, that you will nurture in them, in order to make sure that they have a good childhood, in order for them to be able to be productive adults. So just know that there's going to be a balance. There's going to take time, there's going to be healing, and there's going to be certain things that are going to come from it, but there is a happily ever after for you. There is agape love for you. I really do suggest, if you can, read the 5 love languages, because you may learn more the spiritual aspect. So I hope this blessed you. I'm not going to belabor this video much longer, because it's not necessary. So with that being said, this is Taj McCameron for Love, Faith, Peace, and Blessings. Until next time, bye-bye.